Hey everybody, this is Zaris, and I'm here bringing you the CSL Weekly Report. We had some great games going on last week, highlighted by UCSD, our Season 3 champions, against UC Irvine, the Season 2 semifinalists, and Season 3 also getting eliminated by UCSD team in the playoffs. UC Irvine, of course, has been eliminated by UCSD both previous seasons of the CSL, and so they were really looking for some revenge on Saturday, and they got it, beating UCSD with a 3-1 score, with KVZ being the only win for UCSD. And surprisingly, Cheese from UCSD, one of the top 20 players in the North American server, according to SC2ranks.com, has been unable to win a game in the CSL so far, which is sort of surprising given the, I guess, lack of top-level competition in the league. So it's really interesting to see how a player with such a high ladder ranking seems to struggle quite a bit against opponents who are arguably a lot less skilled than the people he plays in the ladder every day. Irvine now is in a great position for the playoffs, while UCSD is in a little bit of a tight spot with already 2 losses, and the top 4 teams having great records with 3 6-0s and a 5-1. UCSD is going to have a tough time trying to break into the top 4. They're pretty much going to have to not drop a match for the rest of the season. So it's going to be really interesting to watch the Nova division and see how the playoffs shape up in the next couple weeks. Another interesting match, we had a rivalry going on. We had Arizona State versus the University of Arizona, sort of a cross-state rivalry in which Arizona State University ended up winning the match in a pretty close game. It went all the way to the ace match, and ASU won the ace match and took it home. So if you want to check out those games, go to cstarleague.com, go to the match, download the replays, and check it out. Another match that was almost surprising was Carnegie Mellon took Harvey Mudd all the way to the ace match, which is pretty shocking because Harvey Mudd actually hasn't lost a single match up to this point in the CSL. They basically 3-0'd their first 5 weeks, and Carnegie Mellon took them to the brink. But luckily, Harvey Mudd has this guy named QXC, and I know, you've probably heard of him, I've heard of him. He's a pretty goddamn good player, and he ended up winning in the ace match rather handily and securing the win for Harvey Mudd. And this really highlights, I guess, one of the cool or not cool things about the CSL, depending on what perspective you're looking at, of having such a star player on your team in a league filled with, I guess, comparatively average level competition. In the CSL, we really have only a few top players. We have QXC, All About You, Stalife, Suggy. I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone big, but you have a small handful of top level competition and a lot of more average level competition. So if you're a school who happens to be lucky enough to have a guy like QXC, it's going to make your life a lot easier. And we really saw that this past weekend in the Harvey Mudd match, because QXC basically is kind of an ace in the hole. I mean, literally, he played in the ace match and won. So if you have a top player on your team, you're probably going to be in good shape in this league. We do see that 3 teams right now currently that have been quite dominant in the CSL are not so dominant this season. UCSD, of course, as I've already mentioned, quite sad for me actually. Duke is another team. Last season's finalists are sitting at 3-3 and pretty far outside of the playoffs. The same goes for University of Victoria, who apparently seems to be a lot better at rapping than they are at StarCraft 2. I think they lost their best player, though. Bei Chi Gi seems to be not playing anymore. I'm not sure if he graduated or what, but UVic is pretty far outside the playoffs, too, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to pick it up. That pretty much wraps it up for what happened in Week 6. Of course, you can go check out cstarleague.com and see all of the results, go to the standings, check all that out. But more importantly, in Week 7, this coming weekend, we have some great matches coming up. Some of the most storied college rivals in all of the history of college rivals are happening this next weekend. We have, first of all, Duke versus UNC, of course, probably the top college rivalry ever. In 2009, we saw UNC beating Duke. Of course, we're talking about basketball here, not StarCraft. In 2010, Duke thrashed UNC in like a 32-point beatdown or something like that. And in the CSL, who knows what's going to happen? You know, is UNC going to be able to get revenge on the NCAA beatdown last year, or I guess this year? Or is Duke going to pull it together to beat their crosstown rivals? So make sure you check that match out. We're going to 100% guaranteed stream it. So stay tuned for a post on the CSL website about the information for that match. And that leads me to the next rivalry, which is also one of the greatest college rivalries of all time. USC versus UCLA. Actually, this past weekend, I think it was December 4th, USC beat down UCLA pretty bad, playing at the Rose Bowl. And I was actually eating dinner about 10 minutes away from where they were playing. And it was pretty hectic when a couple UCLA people tried to walk into the Hot Wings Cafe I was at. They got some Mad Dog stares by all the USC fans in there. So make sure you check out that game too, UCLA versus USC, one of the greatest rivalries. We are going to be streaming that match as well. We have another rivalry coming up next weekend, I guess slightly less well known. We have University of Maryland College Park versus Baltimore County. And College Park is actually sitting at an 18-2 record, which makes them the top-rated team so far in the CSL. Baltimore County just lost their first match last week, so this week is really sort of like a two-pronged two-pronged importance for Baltimore County. A, they need to bounce back from a loss last week, and B, College Park is sitting at 6-0, so a Baltimore victory will actually even their records at 6-1 apiece, and give them a strong headway into getting first in their division. So that's pretty much what's on tap for Week 7. Another important match for playoff considerations, of course, is UCSD versus MIT. So make sure you check out that game as well. And that sort of wraps it up. Unfortunately, we really did not have that much drama in the CSL this past weekend, sort of bouncing back from our Thanksgiving break. I also hope you guys watched the Turkey Drop King of the Hill, casted by yours truly. Check out the replays and the VOD. Although there was a little bit of a problem with the VOD, it got cut off, but check that out. Go to cstarleague.com, check out everything, all of our awesome coverage, and check out CSL on Facebook, become our fan. And thanks again, and make sure you stay tuned for the post about what matches are going to be streamed, and I'll give you guys the links. Also, I'd like to invite anybody who has sort of questions, who wants me to talk about anything in particular in the next weekly video. Please email cstarleague@gmail.com and title your email Talking Points. And if you want me to talk about any kind of a drama, intrigue, players, teams, standings, whatever, just shoot me your questions and I'll pick sort of the most interesting ones and try my best to answer them on the next video. So again, thank you guys for watching. This is Zeris once again with the CSL. We are signing out. Thank you.